Melissa. The board wasn't showing his gait yet. That's how early he was. He stood there watching numbers and letters change for a while, then he walked to the security line. There were so few people there that he just ducked under the ropes, the ones that were meant to delineate the flow of the line, so people could be diverted the way a river is diverted when humans want to create a lake. He poured through the line quickly, slipping off his shoes as he got closer to the machines, placing them neatly in a gray bin next to his jacket, his keys, his phone. No message on the screen yet from Melissa. He walked through the scanner, the cold carpet on his socked feet, and met his luggage on the conveyor belt. It stopped and a chubby hand fell on top of the suitcase as he reached for it. "Is this yours, sir?" He nodded. The man pulled the bag aside onto a table and opened it, rifling through the contents. It hurt to watch his belongings disrupted. They had all been arranged to fit. Now the right angles were all poking each other haphazardly. "This one is over the ounce limit," the man said, holding up a bottle of hot sauce. He had bought it as a gift for his mother for her collection. "You can check this bag or else we'll have to take this away." "No," he sputtered. He didn't check bags. He went to great lengths not to. He didn't like other people handling them, and Melissa didn't like waiting for them on that stupid carousel after the flight. The man threw the hot sauce in a bin with a bunch of oversized water bottles and soaps. He wondered if the agents went through it later and took the things they liked. When he got his bag back, he wanted to put everything back in place right away, but there were too many people waiting behind him. He carried his open bag like an injured puppy over to the nearest bench, shoeless, and carefully replaced everything the man had disturbed. He was still so early. Melissa always complained that he took too long to do everything, that he made her wait. "How is it possible?" she always said, her eyes up to the ceiling in irritation. "What could you possibly be doing that takes so long?" He tried his best to move faster, but he didn't know how. "Before we leave," he thought, "I have to put on my clothes, brush my hair, grab my keys." He talked through it with her, explaining all the things he had to do and that they took a certain amount of time. "But I get dressed too," she said. "I have more hair to brush than you do. I just don't understand how it takes you so much longer." He thought through the sequences over and over again, but he could never understand it. It was like Melissa was able to warp time. He made his way to the screens, which had just begun to show his gate number. At the gate, the previous plane had just landed. He found a seat facing the hallway so he would see her when she arrived. He waited. He watched the people go back and forth, finding their gates. He tried to guess which flights they were on based on their clothing. Flip-flops and surf t-shirt? San Diego. Puffy jacket with fur around the hood? Denver. Most people were looking at their phones or had their headphones in, or both. He thought about the hot sauce in the agent's sweaty hands. His mom would have liked it. She would really like Melissa, though, and that was more important. He listened to the announcements from nearby gates paging people who were late. He heard the announcement from his own gate that the flight was boarding. He stayed where he was, looking for Melissa among the faces in the crowd. He waited until the last person had boarded. The crackly voice overhead called his name. He stood up slowly, his eyes lingering on the hallway. "I'm here," he said, and handed the flight attendant his ticket. He heard the crackly voice call Melissa's name as he walked down the wobbly tunnel to the plane. "I'm sorry," the flight attendant said. "We're out of overhead space. You'll have to check your bag." He stared at her blankly. Her lipstick covered her chapped lips like chalk over gravel. "Fine," he said.